What's going on YouTube? Brick Breaks here, and today we're taking a look at the Mastermind Creations Optus Pexus. Yes, another Optimus Prime. Fucking deal with it. But before we look at the actual figure itself, quick look at the box. Mastermind Creations wait, it says reformatted there. Please don't comment Brick Breaks is retarded. Then please just got a nice picture of the figure itself blasting that nice golden crest. The side what this is? R48 Optus Pexus Super Cop. Another picture of the figure. Top of the box, bottom of the box. Back. A bunch of promotional images, and that's basically it for this shit, so. Okay, to the figure. Now, Optus Pexus here is a third-party version of Orion Pax from the IDW comics, which I have not read, so do not even ask. Now, how is this figure? I don't want to exaggerate, but God's here. Well, unfortunately, godhood can't be attained by all aspects of the figure. This vehicle mode's dumb. It's not bad by any means, it's just kind of boring. He honestly reminds me of other Cybertronian Optimuses, which we'll get into later. But taking a quick spin at it, it's just not bad. It's not bad, like I just said. Though it definitely couldn't be improved to make it look more like an actual truck. But then again, this is a Cybertronian truck. And one thing I forgot to mention is, as indicated on the box, Orion Pax is a fucking cop. And in case you're confused, you're confused quite a lot, Orion Pax is Optimus without the Prime. But as far as this vehicle mode goes, it's essentially a brick with wheels. But at least this brick is solid, holds together, feels nice, and it rolls pretty well. While these wheels are pretty tight, they can roll, but you don't want to force it. Don't want to risk scratching the paint. Even though this paint does seem very durable, most durable paint I've seen in forever. For a size comparison, here he is with the only other Cybertronian Optimus that I have. And just like with this guy, not the best vehicle mode, but it works. Though this guy is a little more truck-ish. But there is definitely quite the size difference. Though to be granted, this thing is a Voyager, this thing is supposed to be MP scale. So, Siege Prime, get the fuck out of here. Now, before we get into the transformation, it does come with a few accessories. For this mode in particular, the smokestacks. These things came detached out of the box. They just plug in right here. They just tab in right there. And for this mode, you also get two different pairs of colored ion blasters. We move to these tabs here. Got slots in the guns, so a pair can plug into the top if it decides to work. Well, fuck it, I'll just let it sit there. That's basically how it would look. I prefer the blacks. But you can always use the gray ones later. Well, now let's get into his transformation. After a really interesting transformation, the robot mode is okay. Again, not bad by any means, it's just another great Optimus Prime design, which I've talked about a million times if I'm being quite honest. Well, let's just get a full spin of this guy, really clean back, nice. And he has quite a lot of mechanical details sculpted in, mainly where those thighs are concerned. But the detail and aesthetics are not really where this figure shines. If I am mistaken, this is the most articulated figure I've ever handled. He can get into virtually any pose that you can think of with some clever integration of the transformation into the posability. I mean, seriously, this guy is just fucking amazing. Oh, one quick thing I forgot to do is take these smokestacks and plug them into the arms. That's better. Is it just me, or is this giving me Transformers Armada vibes? Can we get a like on this video for Transformers Armada? Only a machine can get away with that. If you saw my trailer for this review, I had his hand posed like that. He has so much posability that there's a whole section of the instructions dedicated to the posability, which every articulated figure over $100 should have. Only a machine can get away with this kind of abdominal cheating. Mastermind Creations, you smart bitches. And may I remind you that this shit could transform. 3A. While 3A has gotten better at their posability engineering, it wasn't the best the first time. But just like the last Transformers figure that I reviewed, this guy has a ton of articulation, though I think he does it better. These shifting hips can get kind of annoying. Though there is one area of this figure that you should be careful with: the knees. The transformation has allowed him to have moving muscle bits. And if you look here, I got a couple of stress marks. So you want to be careful with collapsing the legs in for transformation and posing these knees. Go nuts with the rest of the posability, but when it comes to the knees, be gentle yet firm. Like my dick. I'm being completely honest, this is the best Transformers figure I've handled in forever. Besides those War for Cybertron figures. Which, for those of you who don't know, which I'm pretty sure almost 99% of you don't, I recently got a whole bunch of War for Cybertron figures. They feel amazing. And I also forgot to rotate these little things here. This guy is just begging to be played with. Bunch of nice ball joints, hinge joints, and swivels. Size comparison. Here is the Siege Optimus Prime that I reviewed many moons or years and many pounds ago. Jesus. The years really are just slipping through my fingers. The march of time is relentless. The previously mentioned ion blasters can separate and become his guns, obviously. Just bring him in here. Would help if I get this camera closer to him. Let's bring out the thumb. Fold in those fingers so you can get the handle in there. That just plugs into the tab in the palm of his hand, as with any Masterpiece style transformer. Bitch. Son of a bitch. Once you have it plugged in, you're gonna want to get a grip with those super articulated fingers. And he holds it pretty well. The other one, you can rotate these up, and you can plug the ion blasters into there. Focus the fucking Masterpiece style transformers are kind of a bitch to film. There's two ways to do it. You can there's a slot right. Focus the fucking camera. There's a little slot right there that can plug into these tabs. And that don't look that bad. Now, before we move on, I do want to mention one crucial thing. This tab right here snapped off while I was handling this. I mean, it didn't totally snap off. It was kind of hanging there. I just epoxied that back on. So be very careful with these tabs. Or you can utilize the slot underneath and plug it into there. Again, doesn't look half bad, but not the best connections. You also get the Optimus Necessity, the Matrix of Leadership. Pretty good looking one at that. Stay stable. A pretty good looking one at that. Though my only complaint is these handles remove for the integration into his chest, but they're very loose and the Matrix is kind of floppy. But I'm pretty sure you can fix that connection with a certain white liquid. This stuff really works wonders. But like I said, it can go into his chest. You just want to remove these handles. They just snap off. And you can store it in his chest, though you have to transform it a bit to get it in there. Open up these panels right here. Fold out this. Lower the camera because this thing is a bitch. And there are two slots at the bottom of the Matrix core. They can just plug into the two tabs here. There. Not the best integration of a Matrix feature, but it's good enough. Now let's get this thing into its proper configuration. Come on. There we go. And if you're wondering what you do with the handles, the handles can plug into the hip skirts. Nice connection, but they barely even hold in, and then they fall off the table. Once again, I'm pretty sure you can easily fix that connection with some of this stuff. And the final accessories you get a spare pair of super articulated fingers. Thanks, MMC. Now they're in focus. But from what I have experienced, those fingers aren't coming off anytime soon. So yeah, that basically concludes the review. And let's get this guy into a good pose for the outro. What I'm about to show you is how I have him displayed right in front of the 3A Optimus. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how I have the figure displayed. And I keep him displayed right in front of the 3A Optimus. Quite magical to me. So, is this figure worth it? Oh, yes. But as far as tracking it down, get fucked. Scalpers should be scalped. That's the least controversial thing I've said in a long time. But luckily I found this guy for a pretty decent price, around 120, 130 bucks. So if you're interested, I'll provide a link in the description. And that's gonna do it for the review. So make sure to like and subscribe if you're new and enjoy the video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, links in the description. And I'll see you all in the next one. And until then, peace.